morning, Kylie here from Kylie's Professional. So nice to be here in the morning to show you how I do a really fast, dewy foundation using my loose mineral pigments. So many people have asked me how I do my quick, easy foundation, and I have so many different methods I use depending on what I'm doing. So basically, I start with jump out of the shower, do a spray of my hydration spray, then Kakadu plum seed extract. I've already actually got that on, so that's that one there. Then I usually do a few drops of the beauty serum, but today I've already got some on, but I'll put a few more drops on. So I'll make sure my face is damp before I put that on. Just press that all in. And this morning, I'm not going to do and I put that all over my face. Sometimes I'll follow with a moisturizer as well, and other times I'll just use my oil. To do a real dewy foundation, I don't tend to use foundation primer if I'm just doing a real everyday quick makeup. If I have a special occasion on, I still will use a primer. But today I'm actually going to be putting my foundation directly over the oil. So if I want it extra dewy, I'll sometimes add a little bit more oil. So it's really quite moist. I will actually put concealer on today as well. I didn't sleep brilliantly last night, so I do need some. So I'll just put that on. Normally, if I was doing my makeup, and I always put it across my chest as well. If I was doing my makeup, you know, for this special occasion or whatever, I'll use the primer. But this is just like, say for instance, I'm going into the salon, or I'm just having a day off, it's the weekend. I don't bother putting my primer on. Now, I use the natural concealer. With my skin tone, I could actually use the corrective cream that's actually in peach, because I do get sort of quite dark in here, as you can see. So with my concealer, like, I have to admit, when I do myself quick and easy, I just use my finger, and I don't even use the ring finger that you're supposed to use. And I just literally like that. And if I was to use a brush, I'll just use a little bit. I'll just put a little bit on my hand there, and I stipple the brush. I mean, sometimes I do use a brush, but I get a little bit lazy. If I was using brushes, I often will use a fluffier brush to buff it in, because you don't want it chunky. And I'm only putting that where I've got my dark areas. If, you know, for instance, I wanted to highlight lighter under my eye area, I'll just use a lighter foundation. But today I'm just doing super basic, so it's concealer, foundation, a little bit of bronzer. So this is the fluffy brush I'd then buff in. Now, for your foundation, I either, depending on what I've got clean in my bedroom at the time, I'll use a kabuki, the smaller kabuki brush, which is the number 3, or the number 1 larger kabuki brush. I quite like this one the best, and I don't like flat foundation brushes because your face is round, and I love to really stipple it around. So I will use this one today. So my face is still very, very moist. So I'll just use my Mineral Goddess. I don't know if you can see that on there with the screen, my loose foundation. I just tip a tiny bit in the lid. And then you can spray your brush if you like first. So if you're a little bit messy and you're worried you're going to spill product, but I'll put a little bit on my brush and then I'll just stipple and then I'll buff. So a little bit more. And notice I'm wearing white. When you know your own color, you can wear any color, but if you don't know what is the best foundation for you, it's always best to wear black or white, because if you're wearing colorful clothes, the reflection of your clothes can go up onto your face and you won't get the true color. So my foundation color at the moment is Venus. I have quite an olive skin. So see how I'm just doing small taps? Stipple, 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 stipple. So I press and then I buff. I'm wearing white, it's not spilling, you don't have fallout. You do your eyelids and underneath. If you have concern about your eyes, you can use a fluffier brush. I generally like to use number 5 in this area, but I don't have one in front of me. So I'm just like tapping a little bit more in that area. And you can do your eyelids with a smaller brush as well. And where I'm lifting my eyebrows, if you do have a few lines on your forehead, you can actually just blend back over them. But that is all I would do for an everyday base. So, you can see that. So that side's still patchy, that side's not. So I'll do the other side. Sometimes around your eye, you can actually squash your brush up as well and just tap gently. Got a little bit of discoloration on my temples, so a bit more there. So basically, you're just wanting to put your foundation where needed. If you do this technique with your foundation, you think, oh, I feel too shiny, you can always go over your T-zone area with the extra matte setting powder. So this method, it's turning your, basically, instead of mixing your loose foundation in with the oil first and then putting it on that way, it's putting it on dry and it's not falling everywhere because it's sort of sticking to the oil a little bit. So you really need to buff it. And make sure you always sort of go down with any hairs. Sort of check and then you can actually use your fingers to stipple, and that will just set. Actually, I forgot my eyelid. Yeah, so you can sort of really just blend it. And now it's actually quite moist, so you can really. So there we go. So if I use a foundation as a contour, I use Allure. Those are my brushes are all in like a little pencil case. So this is just so I've got a little bit of colour on my face and my glowy base is not just all one colour. So I'm just using the Allure and I'm just using it in all my areas I want to contour. So it's like from the ear down to the eye, a little dust. Bit up on the temples just to add some colour. I'm not doing a lot, like it's quite a few shades deeper. So a deeper foundation shade is great for And then just get your foundation brush and blend it back in. It's actually great for doing as a contour. And you can do a little bit under here. A little bit on my nose. Through here, a bit on my forehead. And you could always add more. I'll tend to use that as well on my eyelid area. So everything up. I think everything going up will instantly give a bit of a facelift look, hopefully, if that's what you want. I know everything's pro-aging and everything, and in the over 40s club, so I'm 48, so I'm like, yep, I'm there, but I don't know, it just opens up your face as well. So if you do have a loose powder blush and you think, oh, my face is already, you know, I'm done, believe it or not, like you wouldn't do this for a professional makeup, but you can get, I'll just put some on a board, a little bit of blush on each of your fingertips, the apples of your cheeks, just press it in. It'll look a bit crazy at first, but because you've got the oil still just slightly setting, you can actually blend it in like that. And you can actually also use that a little bit on your lips, and like say something like a rose gold or a dream. This is dream. And a little bit just in here. So I'll put it on quite a lot so you can see where it goes. Finger. Done. Your mascara. Everyone pulls, my mascara's getting a little bit low. I need to get some more. So I just jiggle. You can curl your lashes first if you want, but I tend to let it half dry and then just use my fingers. So you could put an eyeliner on as well, but you know, some days we just want this super natural look and you just want quick out the door. You feel like you need something on, but you don't know. You don't want to put too much on. I'm just brushing myself underneath. My brows are a little bit messy. You actually brush them, but I'll do that later. But anyway, there you go. Quick, easy base. I will show you now how to do a day look, which I already have an extremely natural look on right now. But if you want to add a little bit more and you want to feel a little bit more done up even for the day, a few quick tips on what to do. So for my brows, I'm going to use my Goddessy palette in the taupe. So that's the taupe there. I'm just going to use it dry on my little number 13 brush. I'm going to give it a very light spray. Now, with my particular brows, I'm going to come up close because my eyesight's not great. So I will just fill them in a little bit more. I'll do a little bit more at the top as well. I'm going straight and then I'll just go across my brow. And I've got a bit of a gap underneath, which is annoying. I'll come up and I usually put a little bit more in there. You can use a pencil in that area, and then I'll just sort of brush the brow over it. See how that looks a lot more intense than that one? A bit more. There we go. Going to get my dream shadow. And just, I'm actually just going to do not far along the top of my lash line, because I don't have a lot of eyelids, so anything light I do not want coming up into my crease with my type of eyes. So I've got quite hooded eyelids. So I actually love rose gold in this area as well. Maybe I'll put a tiny bit of that on. Just doing more rose gold in the center. So this is another very quick, easy thing to do. I'll just put another brush and I'll blend that. Then I'm going to use a deeper shade just at the edges. Just blend that into the lash line. I'm only doing the corners. As everybody knows, my go-to everyday shade, I love just earth. It just suits my skin tone. A lot of people love bark, something natural. You could use your bronzer as well for this. I was blending it in very, very soft, blending as I go. And a tiny bit underneath. So I'm using that instead of a liner. I'll do this side. Just along the under that lash line, and then I'm directing it up. So basically the outer corners of my eyes have got another color there. And then I always just check. Sometimes I even just use my finger because I've got the oil base on, and just make sure it's where it needs to be. Quick pencil. I mean, I'm going to use Tiger's Eye today. So I just gently rub it along my lash line. Just backwards and forwards. Just to give that little bit of extra definition. And I am actually just going to use it on the outer area. And just backwards and forwards. If I make a blob, I can blend it with my brush. Going to use a bit of rose gold up on my cheekbones. Use my foundation brush and blend that. Just to lift my cheekbones up. Then I'm actually going to use my peachy blush, and I'm literally just going to use my fingers. I just felt like I need a bit more colour. Come down too low, you just blend with your foundation brush. Do a little bit extra mascara. Just clean it up under here. So funny the faces you pull when you do your makeup. I'm not a great person for wearing bright lipsticks. Today I'm wearing sienna. It's got a bit of colour, more natural. That's it, all done. And quick, just add to your day look. Bye, see you next time.